I'd said I'd been writing checks all day. Back then I didn't use debit cards. I used checks. It was a long time ago. And I said, oh, I'm scared. I don't even know how much I've spent today, so I better use cash because I knew it was going to be closed. So I went to my purse to get cash. And I think it was $15 for the wine or something, and I had $14. And I said, I'm just $1 short. Dang. And within seconds, 3 people, two men and 1 woman who was at the next line, and the guy who was the checker, all handed me $1 bills. Each of them. Oh, they were going, oh, here's $1, here's $1. I'm like, wow, thank you, thank you. And I was like turning them away. Oh my gosh, it was like night and day. So I'm not sure if prejudice nowadays is more so for the attractive versus the unattractive, because I'm not always looking my best, but I do notice that people get treated a lot better when they fix themselves up, which is a shame. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. It is what it is. And so the lesson of that story was, gosh, don't go anywhere without your makeup because you're going to be treated like crap. But the boy who cried wolf, I was talking about that because I wanted to bring up the point that basically the mainstream media is crying wolf every day. And people are getting fatigued. We're tired of it. None of us want it anymore. We never did. Mueller report, nothing. And then it was, what, quid pro quo. They loved saying that, and they all said it in sync. Quid pro quo. Quid. And then they said, oh, they polled somebody, and some people, and the people said, we like bribery better. Okay, let's charge them with bribery then. Okay, we're charging them with bribery. To me, that's the setup. To me, it's like it's like having a police officer in your front yard waiting for you to do something wrong so they can arrest you. Poor Trump. But he's got a lot of people on his side. He's got me on his side, that's for sure. And I won't be fooled multiple times by these people. So after the bribery, now they've decided to impeach him on abuse of power and obstruction of justice. So I guess how I'm seeing this is abuse of power, obstruction of justice. So if you try to defend yourself or you refuse to help them prove a crime that you did not commit, that's obstruction. Abuse of power. Do they mean like, oh, I got a pen and a phone like Obama? Or is it abuse of power like the government, the U.S. Congress, concocting some new charge when the last one didn't work? And they've already decided and said it on camera that if this impeachment doesn't work, they'll impeach him again on something else. They're going to look and find something. This is where we are, America. We are in trouble. If they can do that to him with his power and his money, what will they do to us? That is a scary thing. And another troubling thing that I found was that they say his motive for asking about Joe Biden's indiscretion was because he felt threatened by Joe Biden. Yeah, right. That's what I thought. Threatened by this Joe Biden?
You know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I love kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what.
Yep. That's who they want to be our president. He's the front runner in the Democratic Party. Oh my. And do you think that Donald Trump has lost one bit of sleep thinking about Joe Biden? He's praying that Joe Biden will run. He will be the easiest candidate to beat of all of them, because every time he opens his mouth, he's in trouble. that's just the tip of the iceberg. He said a lot of other crazy stuff. He doesn't know where he is half the time. He talks about people being the first senator, African-American female senator to be elected when, as I said last time, Kamala Harris was standing right there. If that is what they're saying is his motive, then they obviously haven't met the man. I haven't met him either, but I see him on TV and I like what I see. Yes, his speech is a little bit abrasive, but I didn't elect him to be our pope. I elected him to run our country and not into the ground like Obama did. I wanted him to run it like a business and make people accountable for what they did. One thing that I'm really proud of, I'm proud of my black brothers and sisters who are coming out of that ridiculous Democrat Party and coming into the Republican Party. God bless them. If they're not coming into the Republican Party, at least vote Republican. Because the Democrats never gave a rat's behind about you. They never cared. It's all been spin. And we've been buying it lock, stock, and barrel. I haven't. Because my father taught me to have a mind. I don't have to think like anybody else at all, ever. I make up my own mind. But you have to understand the people that are going through this now, they are going through something. This is something that they are doing out of pure patriotism. They're doing it out of a regard and an affiliation to our country. Because when many of these people, new Republicans or new conservatives who were always thoughtfully conservative, spiritually conservative, when they make that jump out of the plantation party, the Democratic Party, it is, to me, something heroic. I never had to do that. I was always conservative. I was always in the mix when there were issues being argued. I have always known I was conservative and Republican at that. Sometimes, I didn't like every Republican because it's not like a religion, but I certainly stick with the ideals of small government. And if you challenge a non-Republican, if you're one of my Republican compadres, if you challenge a non-Republican and ask them, why do you vote Democrat? They'll tell you something because it'll be so weak. Their argument will be so weak that they start to think deeply about it. I mean, really, some people actually said to me, I've asked this question many times because it's so interesting, the response. I said, so why do you continue to, this is a young black lady, nice woman. I said, why do you continue to vote Democrat? She goes, well, I asked my dad one day, what are we? And he said, we're Democrats. And so she goes, well, so that's what we were. Wow. And I bet that's a lot of people, including white people and Mexican American people. I mean, they thought they were Democrats because that's what their parents told them that they were. And without giving it much thought, they were the fix was in because once they sent them off to public schools, the curriculums pretty much went on the side of the Democratic Party if you look back at it. I know educators who have retired who now look back and see it with a different viewpoint because it wasn't so in your face the way they educated us. They made us think that, we were an important part of American history as black people. But all the while, they wanted us to remember only the part about slavery. Only slavery. That's it. Slavery and Martin Luther King. I think Chris Rock talks about this in the best way. I love Chris Rock because he is honest, intellectually honest. And I appreciate that in all people, whether they're a comedian or not. But yeah, it was really phenomenal. But when you see someone who has an awakening, like, oh, well, because I can tell a person, if someone says to me, Kathy, why are you voting Republican? I can tell them. I don't want the government in my business. I believe in the Second Amendment. I think everybody has a right to defend themselves and their family and to own guns. Just because some people are crazy with them doesn't mean they should take the right to have guns away from everybody. I do think there's a mental health problem in this country. I think doctors are giving out antidepressants like Tic Tacs. I know because I used to be on them, and they are hard to get off of. And even when you tell your doctor you don't need them anymore or you don't want them because, like me, I'm an artist, and they really cut into my creativity, and I'm not my best artist or writer or anything else. I wasn't even a good Christian when I was on the antidepressants. And I know I went through something when I weaned myself off. I finally found a physician who helped me get off of them and did some therapy, and I just feel great now. And I'm not on 5 medications like the doctor had me on, even though I kept saying, I think I'm too young to be taking all this medicine. And I'm not going to name names, but if you leave me a message or something, I might go ahead and let you know. But I'm just saying that's most of them really right now. If you can find a doctor that actually cares about you or a physician of some type, I found a nurse practitioner who was awesome and thorough, and he did a lot of tests on my blood and found that, my problem wasn't my inner thoughts. It was hormonal. Yeah, Einstein, I could have told you that. But I thought telling a doctor what I thought it was would be, like he's not going to like me anymore or something like that. But I was thankful. Thank you. That physician has since passed. But he was awesome. He changed my life for the better. So I appreciate the new black voters that we're getting on the right. They're going to be loyal. They're going to be good. They're going to be true. They're going to speak the truth. Because that's another thing. Most black people that I know, and I come from a pretty normal black neighborhood, I thought, most of them are Democrats, but they still speak their mind. And if you ask them, I go, or so are you for open borders? And they'll say, no. Oh, do you think we should pay for the illegals to have a place to stay and give them free food and some of them college? They say no. Oh, then you want to take away everybody's guns. And they say no. Well, then why are you voting Democrat? Because that's the kind of stuff that's on their platform. And when you ask the question like that, you're not arguing. You're asking them to think about it. Give them, I haven't seen the new Democratic platform. It's probably cheesy and full of lies because that's pretty much what they do. And I'm tired of it. I'm not saying Republicans are saints. They're politicians after all. But I find that more of my thinking, my Christian thinking, I can't separate it from my political thoughts. I can't separate abortion from, which is to me a sin, evil, killing, murder. I can't separate that. And I've been told by some of my fellow Catholics even who profess to be Catholic and say, but I'm not a single issue voter. Really? Life and death is not a big issue for you? Oh no, I want a better infrastructure. Well, so do I. But if life isn't important, freeways aren't important. And you wonder why you have all these mass shootings? It's because of a lack of regard for human life. When human life is unimportant, it becomes easier to kill without emotion. That's what the abortion industry has taught our society. And we're going to have to unteach it, people, because it is the greatest evil that we have in this country today. My spirit life has grown. I think it's because sometimes you have personal problems, family problems, and I don't know what people if somebody doesn't have Jesus in their life, I don't know how they get through it. As I was so relieved to go to church today. I went to Mass and I was like, oh, it was a relief.